You know that we knock 'em down. CBT. Yeah, we know we knock 'em down. You know we knock 'em down. 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 Yeah, knock 'em down. Yeah, knock 'em down. CBT. Knock 'em down. CBT. CBT. Oh yeah, you know that we knock 'em down. CBT. CBT.
What up, YouTube? It's your boy Big Cool coming to you from Colossal Boxing Talk, and I'm here with another post-fight review. Tonight's card, we had a triple header on Showtime, headlined by Vanes Martirosyian, taking on Erislandy Lara in a rematch from a fight that took place nearly 4 years ago. On the undercard, we had an opening bout of Jermell Charlo taking on John Jackson. And going into this fight, a lot of people, made John Jackson a live dog. It wasn't seen as a 50-50 type fight, more of a 60-40, 70-30 type fight. John Jackson is very talented. He's a very good puncher. He can fight out of the orthodox or the southpaw stance. And, going into this fight, a lot of people expected him to come towards the more slicker, more talented Jermell, but he showed a different wrinkle in his game, and that's his ability to be able to box. His jab was very good. He landed a lot of combination punches on Jermell Charlo, who wasn't too impressive to me tonight. He was down 69-64 in the 8th round until he caught John Jackson with a big right hand that momentarily, paused, caused Jackson to pause, which is, you always taught protect yourself at all times. And John Jackson's explanation after the fight was that he was trying to put his mouthpiece or straighten his mouthpiece back up, and you could have just took a knee, recuperated, got your senses back about yourself, and still fought and had a chance to, win a fight. You clearly were dominating. And Jermell stated that he was definitely behind at the time of the stoppage, and he definitely needs to make some improvements. Like, maybe it's just a shock. Now, he did make the adjustments. You got to give him that credit. He made the adjustments. He closed the distance. He was more aggressive, like Derrick James was asking him, his new trainer. I think they've been together for 2 or 3 fights now. He's no longer with Ronnie Shields, but he did make the adjustments. He was more aggressive, and he pulled a guaranteed, what it looked like a guaranteed defeat out of the jaws of of guarantee. I'm so discombobulated. I'm sorry. He pretty much just saved himself from a major upset loss at the hands of John Jackson. So excuse me for that. I'm kind of sleepy. That Erislandy Lara Vanes fight was hard to get through, and I fell asleep at moments of the fight. So that's why I look like this. But anyway, on to the co-main event, which had, I think, Big Brother by a few minutes, seconds. Jermell, the Iron Man, Charlo, taking on Austin No Doubt Trout in a fight that a lot of people expected, I'm guessing, more from Jermell. I seen a lot of people, predict him to win within 3 rounds, within 6 rounds, within 8 rounds. I, myself, went out on a limb and picked the upset, Trout by split decision. I just thought that his experience, his skills would serve him well against the relatively inexperienced and untested Jamal Charlo, and it did. You know, Trout landed a lot of straight left hands. Him being a southpaw, he did a lot of good work, straight to the body, landed some straights up top. He hurt Jamal late in the fight with a right uppercut, and I think later on with a right hook. It was some very good exchanges between the two guys. Trout showed that he had a very good chin. Although we know he's been down against Canelo Alvarez, he was down twice against Daniel Dawson. He was down once, I believe, against Erislandy Lara. I mean, and you just figured that eventually Jamal's right hand, once it landed, and it did quite a bit, it will put Trout down at least once and most likely stop him. But you got to give credit to Austin Trout, man. He's a former champion. I think former IBF junior middleweight champion, or WBA. I mean, junior middleweight champion, but very skillful, very tough, very powerful. It was a close fight. I scored at 115, 113 for Austin Trout. I think that he outworked Jamal at points in the fight, especially in the second half, but I can see why, judges and fellow fight fans around scored it for Jamal. He did land the more punishing blows and the ones that made you say, damn, made you, really got your attention. But for the judges to score 116, 112 twice, that's ridiculous. I don't see how one fighter, either way, you could say, well, that fighter won 8 rounds to 4. No. 7 rounds to 5, or definitely could see it being a draw. It was more suitable, but like I said, Austin Trout was upset. He gave credit to Jamal, gave praise to God, said some things that might get him in hot water in terms of, it's been a Charlo promoted card, Showtime. Only talking about them like they were the only ones fighting. So you understand his frustrations. You don't want to hear that from him. But after a highly competitive fight, emotions are running high. He wasn't able to get a decision against Canelo I thought he deserved, and obviously he doesn't feel that he's going to get those close calls if the fight is close. So he's going to have to try to get the knockout, and he's not a knockout puncher, so it's hard on him. Hopefully, he bounces back. It was a great performance. I'm not thinking we'll see him back this year, but hopefully, maybe October, November, we see him. I'd love to see a rematch between him and Jamal, as well as a rematch between Jamel and John Jackson, because that was a one-sided fight that Jamel pulled out with the big right hand. Now on to the main event. These guys do not like each other. It's kind of a grudge match. It wasn't really a rematch that a lot of people were, knocking down the door to see made happen, but it did happen, and it made sense to why it would happen, because they had unfinished business. Ninth round, I believe, technical decision, southpaw, orthodox. They went in for the attack. Vanes was head clash with Lara, causing the cut. He could not see. The fight was filled with dirty, tactics. I'm talking about their first fight, low blows and a lot of trash talk going into the fight, and it was just ugly. It wasn't appealing at all. So, nearly 4 years later, we get a rematch between these two. There was a few head clashes, but I fell asleep. I'm not gonna lie. Around the 5th, 6th, or 7th round, I fell asleep. But I know that Lara won a unanimous decision. I'll watch the rest of the fight later on tonight or tomorrow. But Vanes did some great things early. Worked the body well. Landed. He doubled up with the left hooks to the body, straight rights, right hooks. I mean, he landed some rights up top too on Lara. He definitely came out, trying to make a statement and trying to impose his will and trying to put that early work into the body, a la what Alfredo Angulo did to Lara when they fought, and it worked in his favor later on in the fight. Although he still lost because we all know what happened. But Lara was himself, moving, countering. Kind of got real low at one point where the commentators at Showtime kind of quickly compared him to, Pernell Whitaker, because we know Pernell Whitaker always gets deep low with a deep squat and bend, and when he's on defense, and Lara gave us some semblance of that, but Lara countered, landed straight left, and did what he did, to win a unanimous decision. The card was very, good in my opinion. Wasn't too much, like I said, impressed with Jermell, but I'm still high on him. I just need him to, he did what he's supposed to do, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he didn't expect the type of fight to be fought by John Jackson that Jackson did come out early and fight, and he slowly made adjustments and got the KO victory. So I am impressed with that, but I still like to see him do more and not be so focused on trying to land a big punch. You're not a big puncher. Don't get it confused because you got a knockout. I mean, you were just fortunate. Jamal, I was impressed with him. Big power, very good jab. He's a big guy, like 5'11" and a half. Pretty much 6 feet. Soon, now it was rumors that he wanted to go up to 160. Then he told Jim Gray, oh well, training camp went great, so I'm not looking to do that right now. He now has a big fight that he is mandated to face, and that's Julius J. Rock Williams. Great up and coming fighter who is finally going to seemingly be getting that big fight. They're both with Al Heyman, so it shouldn't be any problems to make that fight. It's a very intriguing fight. Julian Williams can box, he can punch, so he's rugged. He's a dog in there. So we're gonna see how that fight goes down when it happens. So hopefully it happens. I think they're looking at August or September, so I expect that fight to happen. It's a 50-50 fight in my opinion. Lara, I don't know where he goes next. Maybe he goes up to 160. You got Quillen out there. You got Daniel Jacobs. You got Andy Lee. He's been saying Gennady Golovkin's name. I don't know how that's going to happen, but, he's the best junior middleweight in the world right now. And, you got Andre who's fighting June 11th against Willie Nelson. So whoever, win that fight, I know Andre has been calling out Lara. He has in the past, so maybe they can make that happen. Like this video, subscribe to Colossal Boxing Talk. Leave your comments in the comment section below, telling me what you thought about tonight's card and who would you like to see each guy face in the future. Would you like to see a rematch between Jamal Charlo and Austin Trout, as well as Jermell Charlo and John Jackson? Who would you like to see Vanes face? And who would you like to see Erislandy Lara face? Until next time, I'm out. Peace.